Today's Daily Read Aloud is You Can Be an Astronaut from the Barbie book series, written by Phil Williams. One afternoon, Barbie and Teresa were excitedly watching the live launch of a new space expedition. It's a brand new kind of rocket, and this is the first time it will take astronauts into space, explained Barbie. The friends joined in the countdown and cheered as the rocket powered the brave explorers into the blue sky. "We should totally go to Cosmos World tomorrow," said Teresa. "It's a space exploration and science centre where you get to try lots of cool stuff." Barbie agreed that it was a great idea. "Wouldn't it be amazing if we met an actual astronaut?" The following day, Barbie and Teresa arrived at Cosmos World and marvelled at the display of rockets that towered above them. "These must be the rockets that were used in the early days of space exploration," said an impressed Barbie. The friends were met by their guide for the day. "Hi, I'm Nadine, and I'll be showing you around Cosmos World today," she greeted them cheerfully. "Do you think we'll get to meet any astronauts?" asked Barbie. "You're in luck," smiled Nadine. "You're meeting one right now." Nadine explained that she was an astronaut who had served on several space missions. Barbie was excited to be meeting a real space explorer. "How did you become an astronaut?" she asked. "We come from many different backgrounds," explained Nadine, as she showed the girls a hall of fame of space explorers and the spacesuits they wore on their missions. Some of these astronauts began their careers as engineers, pilots, and doctors. "I'm a pilot, and before that, I was a scientist," continued Nadine. "Conducting space experiments in space is an important part of an astronaut's role." They arrived at Cosmos World Science Centre, and the two friends couldn't wait to begin some fun experiments. "Space is very cold," said Nadine. "Our first experiment will explore how we keep astronauts warm." Barbie and Teresa put on protective gloves and goggles to ensure they were safe from the super cold temperatures. "This canister is filled with liquid nitrogen," explained Dr. Nadine. "It's a chemical that instantly freezes anything it touches." Barbie carefully dipped a marshmallow on a stick into the canister of liquid nitrogen. "It's been totally crystallized," she exclaimed. The marshmallow shattered into tiny pieces as Barbie tapped it on the table. "Now, let's insulate another marshmallow to keep it safe and try the ice dip again," said Nadine. Teresa wrapped a marshmallow with insulating material covered in shiny foil, and Barbie lowered it into the liquid nitrogen once again. "I hope our intrepid marshmallow explorer will be okay this time," laughed Barbie. As she unwrapped it, she was amazed to find the marshmallow had been completely protected from the icy cold. "The insulation worked," she announced. "A spacesuit works in a similar way, insulating the astronaut from the cold of space, just like you protected the marshmallow." "When a spacecraft leaves or enters the Earth's atmosphere, it gets extremely hot," continued Nadine. "Let's explore how to protect the astronauts from heat." Barbie clipped a heat-resistant tile onto a stand and placed an egg behind it. The friends stood back as Nadine blasted the shield with a small blowtorch. "If the shield doesn't work, that egg will be hard-boiled," exclaimed Barbie. Teresa cracked the raw egg into a bowl. "The egg was completely protected," she said. "Heat-resistant shields on the space vehicle protect the astronauts from incredibly high temperatures in the same way as we protected the egg," explained Nadine. "Science experiments like these are a big part of an astronaut's work." "Space travel has changed a lot over the years," said Nadine as the tour continued. "This simulator lets you experience what modern space vehicles feel like." Barbie and Teresa climbed inside the simulator and strapped themselves into their seats. "This is just like the one we saw on the rocket launch," exclaimed Barbie. Powerful rockets are needed to create energy to escape the Earth's gravity, explained Nadine. The astronauts sit in a special capsule like this one at the top of the rocket. Are you ready for the launch countdown and blast off? The friends began counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off! The capsule had special motion simulators and audio effects, and it rumbled with the sound of the rocket launch. This is so cool, exclaimed Teresa. And the heat shields will keep us cool as our egg explorer, laughed Barbie. As the space vehicle gains speed or accelerates, an astronaut will experience G-forces, said Nadine. The high speed of the rocket creates a feeling of intense pressure on an astronaut's body. Oh, it sounds like the world's most extreme roller coaster, said Barbie. Exactly, agreed Nadine. That's why astronauts keep ourselves fit and healthy for the physical demands of space travel. The next visit was to a large indoor swimming pool. In space, an astronaut will experience weightlessness, said Nadine. We can train for this in a special swimming pool and practice performing tasks in low gravity. Barbie and Teresa suited up in diving gear and, with the help of trained diving instructors, tried assembling construction pieces under water. It's surprising how difficult it is when your body keeps floating, said Barbie after the weightlessness session. All that low-gravity training has given me an appetite, said Teresa. I wonder what astronauts eat in space, replied Barbie. Nadine showed the friends to the Cosmos World's canteen, where they had a chance to try an astronaut lunch. All the food we eat in space has to be transported with us, she explained. So it's usually dried or in tin cans or tubes, rather like tubes of toothpaste. Teresa munched on some dried apple pieces, and Barbie tried a tube of fruit juice. Not bad, said Barbie, but you must miss pizza in space. How do you get drinking water in space? Asked Barbie as she sipped on her drink. The amount of water needed is too heavy to take with us in the space vehicle, replied Nadine. Astronauts recycle their water, including the moisture they exhale and sweat, as well as water they use to shower and shave. These wastewaters are purified and then used as drinking water. Next on our tour is this recreation of a space laboratory, said Nadine, as they approached a sprawling collection of large round modules connected by tube-like tunnels. Training inside helps astronauts become familiar with the layout and operations of the laboratory. Barbie and Teresa climbed through the entrance hatch and made their way into the maze-like space laboratory. As Barbie explored, she recognized some of the science equipment she'd seen in the Science Center. Astronauts can spend months at a time orbiting the Earth and conducting experiments in low gravity, explained Nadine. An important role in the space laboratory is performing spacewalks, said Nadine. This virtual reality headset guides you on a spacewalk experience. Barbie put on the headset and took a deep breath as the experience began. What is a spacewalk? Asked Teresa. Any time an astronaut gets out of a vehicle while in space, it's called a spacewalk, explained Nadine. Astronauts can perform science experiments to learn how being in space affects different things. They also test new equipment and make repairs to the space laboratory, satellites, or spacecraft. Wearing the VR headset, Barbie experienced breathtaking views of planet Earth from low orbit of the space laboratory. It's incredible to see how beautiful our home is, she exclaimed. I really feel like I'm floating in space. It was nearing the end of Barbie and Teresa's day at Cosmos World. What are the plans for astronauts in the future? Asked Barbie. Scientists are already preparing for a possible mission to Mars, says Nadine, although it's been several years before we're ready to take the long journey to the fourth planet of our solar system. Barbie and Teresa admired Cosmos World's Mars mission display. Super advanced rockets will be needed for the journey, said Nadine. And once astronauts land, they will face the challenges of Mars's extremely hostile environment. Barbie was impressed by the science and planning that was needed to protect the astronauts on this future mission. I think the Science Centre is going to need more marshmallows and eggs, she smiled. It was getting dark as Barbie and Teresa left Cosmos World. Barbie looked up at the evening sky, and the stars began to twinkle, and the moon shone brightly. Today has been amazing, Teresa said. It's incredible to think that there are astronauts performing science experiments and taking spacewalks above us right now, agreed Barbie. I'll never look at the night sky in the same way again. Dear Nadine, thank you for an amazing day at Cosmos World. It was great to learn how astronauts prepare for their missions and the work they do in space. The science experiments gave me a fun insight into the research required to keep astronauts safe, and the future plans for space exploration look out of this world. Your friend, Barbie. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. We have a new story every day, so make sure you subscribe. The end.